On this segment of The Dose, we highlight the latest in dentistry. Let's explore ways to get you smiling. Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to The Dose. And I'm so excited right now to be sitting with the one and only Dr. Linda King. Many of you know her name. She's a premier dentist here in the community, and she is owner of Sweet Spot Smiles Dental Care. Now, I have to ask this, Dr. King. Someone watching us right now in McDonough, Georgia is saying, well, I know I go to the dentist because of that toothache, but why should I go beyond that? Explain why.
Well, beyond that, dental care affects overall health.
Okay.
So if you can't eat properly, it causes a whole host of situations that happen through there. And generally, when you come in for your exams, we should be doing a blood pressure check along with an oral cancer check and things like that. So some people just come to the dentist and because their tooth hurts. So and they want it removed. But in order to be safe, we always go ahead and make sure we take a blood pressure. And a lot of times we screen out people who can't have that tooth extracted because their blood pressure is a little high, and then we wind up working with their physician to try to get them back into health. So it's tremendous as far as like the number of lives that we've saved with that.
Wow, so it's so important to treat the patient as a whole. I know you shared with me previously that you have a personal story of hypertension being screened and identified in your own family.
Okay, when I was about in 7th grade, my father was having some dental work done, and they took his blood pressure, and he was screened for it, diagnosed with it at his physician, and he got treated for high blood pressure. And so when one person gets treated for high blood pressure, the whole family does. So, sometimes you don't realize how everything is connected.
Exactly, a lifestyle change for the entire family. Now I have to ask about the sleep. And many people don't think of sleep and dentistry being connected, but I know you have a phrase that you love sharing that you've got to get sleep. Explain.
Snoring's not sexy.
Uh-oh.
A lot of times when people come in, and we'll look for things in our oral cancer screening, such as enlarged tonsils or kind of a lot of tissue in the back of the throat. And a lot of times I'll ask, like, do you snore? And they say, well, my bed partner says I do. And I'm like, well, okay, well then that's where. And so what we do is we look for teeth grinding or erosion of the teeth to see if there's any kind of attrition through there. And a lot of times we'll say, like, look, does your bed partner say that you wake up? And they say, yeah, sometimes I'm gasping for air. And I'm like, well, that leads to interrupted sleep.
And let me ask you this. So I'm just imagining if your sleep is being interrupted, there are some other physical concerns that can happen as well.
Yes, absolutely. So that can lead to inflammation, that can lead to hypertension. So there's just a lot of different, and just some ADD. So a lot of times the pediatric ADDs, kids have really large tonsils, and their sleep is being interrupted as well.
Wow. Now I have to ask you this. I've heard that individuals that may have sleep apnea, sometimes they can grind their teeth. We've heard that so much out in the community. So tell me, grinding the teeth, I'd imagine that's not ideal.
No, I think everybody grinds a little bit, but the problem with sleep apnea is they'll go ahead and gasp for air. The acid comes up to the back of their throat, and so a lot of times when we find like that there's erosion of the teeth where they sleep on one side and the acid is just damaged a lot of the teeth, but it can also damage the esophagus and lead to a whole host of other problems with that.
So we shouldn't be taking sleep apnea lightly. Certainly go and see a professional, and it's amazing the link between dentistry. Now I have to ask this, what is the solution? Because I know here at Sweet Spot Smiles Dental Care, you all actually have a device or something that's made to help out?
Yes, absolutely. So as dentists, we can't diagnose sleep apnea. That would be an ear, nose, and throat doctor or a pulmonologist. And a lot of times what they'll do is they'll put them on an air pressure to keep the airway open. Now for the people who cannot tolerate that air pressure, the mask and everything like that, we can make a device that fits in the mouth and it pulls the lower jaw forward to open up the airways. So for people who really don't qualify, like my husband, he does not have sleep apnea, but he does snore. So when he wears his appliance, He sleeps soundly. He's a lot more mentally focused the next day, and so I know it works. I know it works.
You know firsthand, and everyone wins, right? Because when you're addressing the sleep concern, you're well rested. You're just healthier overall.
Yes, and so when your bed partner snores, your sleep is interrupted as well.
Absolutely.
So
it's a team effort,
right?
I know you mentioned children, so many people say, "Well, I'm an adult and I go to the dentist at least twice a year, but my kids, hey, those teeth are going to come out anyway." Dr. King, explain how important it is for our children to also have great dental care.
Okay, so basically, kids are not born with bacteria to create cavities. Did you know that?
Okay. Oh, wow.
No, we give it to them, sharing spoons, and so it's just very important that everybody is treated for cavities,
Yes.
gum disease, and things like that, because things can get transmitted through drinking and sharing spoons. When your mouth does have the bacteria to create cavities, it's not like it goes away when those baby teeth go away. So we want to try to keep those baby teeth as healthy as we can for as long as we can, because that way the permanent teeth, when they come into the mouth, they have the space and the proper thing to go ahead and function properly. So because everybody likes to eat, right?
Yes, absolutely. And it's good, and it's important as well, because you see so many people, and I know this firsthand, who'll say, "Well, those teeth are going to come out anyway, Shana, big deal." But you're saying no, it's important that we start good health habits dental-wise now for children so they can carry that into the future.
Absolutely, because a lot of times, and we want them to have good experiences when they're younger.
Yes.
So the more good experience that you have, the better it is. A lot of times when you're only coming to the dentist when there's a problem, it's not the greatest experience.
Okay.
And it's amazing of the amount of decay and things like that things don't hurt until they actually create a problem.
Wow.
And when people come in with one toothache, they usually have five or seven other things that are going on.
Let's talk about the V word, that visit to the dentist office, because I know individuals that have come seeing you and your team here and they've had great experiences, but I don't need to tell someone like you, a professional dentist, that many people don't look forward to that visit for some reasons, maybe bad experiences as children. Explain what makes you all unique here.
Well, I think a lot of times what keeps people away from the dentist is they're afraid of being judged.
Okay.
They're just like, they know that they've done bad. They feel like they're going to be scolded. And I'll tell you, I think that that's one thing that we do exceptionally well, is when they come in, it's like, okay, we know you're here. We knew it took a lot of courage for you to pick up the phone, for you to walk through that door, and for you just to say, okay, yes, I'm ready, because there's a lot of things people want to hide.
Okay.
And so when we're able to, get somebody feeling better about the way they look, feeling better about the way they chew, and then they've got some momentum in that health, it's magic, because we just can create them where we've got no fear, the trust factor, and everything kind of gets layered on top.
Wow, that magic, to have the confidence too when you have that bright, beautiful smile. Before we exit, I have to ask you this: what are some tips we all should be doing, from our young toddler to the 80-year-old, to keep our teeth as healthy as possible?
Okay, I think one of the main things is people say, like, I don't eat candy or anything like that, and that's the reason why I don't have cavities. So it's really, what I find in this area the most is the sipping of the drinks all day long.
Uh-oh.
Yes. So giving your child apple juice all day is going to create cavities. Having Powerade, as far as like our children who are in sports, and then coffee during the day and soft drinks. So one drink versus 40 drinks, if you're doing it in the same frequency, it's going to create the same amount of damage.
And that's interesting information. And so I'm assuming that H2O is our best friend in this area.
Just absolute tap water. Because some of the bottled waters, they're actually worse for you than sodas.
Wow, great information. I learned something, and I hope you did too. You're watching The Dose.